that's it, by the way. Fantastic choice of music there. Look to your right. Look what's coming down the beach. It's time for not just the Lancaster, but also the Spitfire and the Hurricane. And it's the easiest job in the world as a commentator now, because I'm going to shut up and we're just going to listen to these engines. So a huge thanks to all the team from Conisbee for adjusting their schedule and getting these aircraft here to us today. It's very trying weather conditions, and as we can see, Spitfire, Hurricane and Lancaster, the full team are here. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how proud I am to have them here today, and not just in the air but also on the ground. The Battle of Britain Memorial Flight have a presence out on the main arena just underneath the tower. Go along and see them. They have something very special there, apparently, so I'm going to go and have a look at them. But right now we're going to just concentrate on these three wonderful aircraft. Hurricane Mark IIC PZ865. Also we have the Mark 19 Spitfire, the photo reconnaissance version, PM631, and of course the Lancaster PA474.
What is it?
As a commentator, I'm very aware of the history behind these aircraft, and that's why I don't say much when they're going by, because I just want you to sit back, look at these aircraft and understand what they represent. Young men, 19, 20, 21, stepping forward when their country needed them and sacrificing themselves, knowing going to war in these aircraft was an extremely dangerous occupation, and yet they did it. They did it in their tens of thousands. These aircraft are kept flying by the United Kingdom to remember those. It's important that we remember these aircraft are not just museum pieces, but they're here for us to remember the heroes, men and women, that fought so bravely in the Second World War to defeat the Nazis with these very aircraft. As I said, the Spitfire that we've got with us today is a Mark 19, so photo reconnaissance version, PM631. It was built in Reading, was delivered to Southampton in May of '44. It was used for tests. So as the fighters break out and the Lancaster head off, let's see the two fighters come back in. Of course, after Mark 12, all the Spitfire was powered by the Griffin engine, but you knew that, didn't you? And some aficionados say, oh no, it's not a Spitfire, it's not a Merlin, it has to have a Merlin, and but when you put a Griffin in it, it was, you know, but the Griffin was a huge step forward in engine, and also give it enormous power, and especially at height, and that's where this Mark 19 came into its own. It was just the fastest aircraft out there. So as a photo reconnaissance aircraft, the Spitfires went over Europe. The Luftwaffe was still about, and it had 0 guns. It had no guns, but it was, its armament was its speed. When it saw anything, it was so fast it could just get away from it. And then the Hurricane that we see with us today, PZ-865, that is the last Hurricane that was ever built. 14,533. It rolled off the Hawker production line back in Langley and Bucks in July of 44 and was actually inscribed on the production line, the last of the many, on our port and starboard side.
Look, she ran off.
This aircraft was flown by Group Captain Peter Townsend, where it was in the King's Cup Air Race, where he met Princess Margaret. During the 60s, PZ was returned to its wartime camouflage scheme with numerous displays appearance. And famous test pilot Bill Bedford used to fly this. And it's also one of the actual Hurricanes that appeared in the Battle of Britain Museum. So it's a bit of a TV star as well. PZ-865 is in that all-black night fighter colour scheme you see now, and that's replicating Hurricane Mark 2C from 247 Squadron. And as the name implies, the squadron's Hurricanes are used for night defence in Plymouth and Exeter for night intruders. Trailing behind the Hurricane, leading, is the Mark 19 Spitfire. As I said, one of the fastest production propeller aircraft ever made. We were getting towards the end of the propeller age and jets were about to take over. These Spitfire Mark 19s, as I said, unarmed, but they could fly at 370 miles an hour, up at 40,000 feet. They had fully pressurized cockpits and had a range of 1,500 miles. In March of 46, PM 631 was at RAF Benson. Sun bouncing off the wings, perfect. It was at RAF Benson where it remained until May of 49, and then it moved on to 203 Advanced Flying School. After being modified for meteorological work, she was flown by civilian pilots with the temperature and humidity monitoring flight based at Hooton Park and Woodvale. 7, who was flown to Biggin Hill. From ducks fitted by World War II Fire Age Group Captain Jamie Rankin, DSO and DSC bar.
Yeah, but start from the shower tonight.
In formation with another 2 flights that were marked 19. A Spitfire roll in the sunshine. That Spitfire is the longest continuous serving aircraft of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. So the Lancaster coming through, PA474, it's one of only 2 surviving Lancasters in the world, the other one out in Canada of course. 474 was built in the Vickers Armstrong Broughton factory in Horden, completed on May of 45. The War of Europe had ended a few weeks earlier, so the aircraft was modified for Far East operations against the Japanese.
Just said he used to be with us. Oh, okay, that's
Live from the cockpit. Here's the Lancaster rolling out now. I expect the fighter aircraft to join up with him soon. So as I said, this aircraft was fitted out for Tiger Force and first flown in this configuration in August of 45. But then combat operations in the Far East were also ended before the aircraft would be deployed. So it was put into storage with just 3 hours and 10 minutes on the airframe. So from September 48th of 1952, after conversion to PR1 standard, it was conducting aerial survey, mapping work in South Africa with 82 Squadron, and got about 2,000 hours on the airframe, which is still very, very light for an aircraft like this. Lancaster was loaned to the Flight Refueling Limited, then it was converted into a pilot target drone.
Hey, I've got the best spot for these.
Fortunately, it was cancelled before that
Hey, it's not open.
happened to it, where it was going to be used as something to be shot down. And it was sent off to the Cranfield College in 1954.
All you gotta do is stand to
Lived in Cranfield for 10 years.
rolling out.
474 is now painted on its port side as Lancaster Bill. Nose art depicting a kangaroo in Wellington boots playing the bagpipes, and that represents the mixed nationalities, the Scottish, the Australian and the Welsh of its crew at the time. W5005 aircraft, which flew 51 ops with 460 Squadron, Royal Australian Air Force from Bimbrook. It was then transferred over to 550 Squadron at North Killinghome. And on the starboard side of PA474 wears the 50 Squadron code letters V and T. The these being the code letters of the aircraft in which Flying Officer Dougie Milken flew 27 of the 35 ops on his tours with 50 Squadron.
Oh, you love it.
So you can hear the instructions from the Lancaster pilot telling the fighter pilots to clear his rear, and then they'll come up on his side where he's got a good view of them. Obviously can't see them when he's underneath, when they're underneath and behind the aircraft. And ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, the Battle of Britain Memorial flight will be coming through. So as I said before, I'm just going to keep quiet, just think about the people that served in these aircraft and the sacrifice they made so that we can live in a free Western society. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure doing the first day here at the Blackpool Airshow. My name is Joe McGrath, and thank you to everyone.